everybody? Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back with the top cut from your May 2022 Chalislime Monthly. This is a momentous day for brewmasters around the world. A new set and a new list dropped within a couple of days of each other, and we've been hosting a tournament all day to see what the new best decks are. We've gone through 7 grueling rounds of Swiss, and we are now left with your top 16 duelists. I'll be co-casting with Semifinals when he wakes up, so for this first one, we're going to go without his expertise, but truthfully, I think that I am the perfect person to let you know what we will be watching today. So first up, I want to talk real quickly about what made it into Top Cut. We had a ton of really interesting decks represented in the Swiss rounds, but after 7 rounds, our top 16 includes 3 branded Despia, not surprising, 2 Tenyi Sword Soul, also not surprising, 2 Eldritch, great first week of a new format, 2 Sun Avalon, the new Therion deck that is taking the world by storm, and then 1 piece of ABC Therion, this is Tombox's pet deck, Virtual World on a really interesting setup combo, Adignister, can absolutely take tournaments when people are unprepared. Punk Therion, piloted by Quantal Think, which is going to be our match that we are watching for our first round. Dinomorphia, Mech Knight, and Libromancer. We're going to be watching for our first round of Top Cut, the one, the only, Cursed Eyes on Libromancer, and I'm super excited to show this deck off to you. It's got everything. The Dogmatica cards, including their weird rituals, some holdouts from Drytron. Oh, it looks so good. So I am going to let them know that I am ready to jump in, and we are going to go for it. They just have to read chat. The problem is they turn off spectator chat. Gerstai says, best of luck, Quantal. Let's put on a show, and let's jump in to your top 16 match. Now, for what it's worth, Quantal's deck is nuts. We've seen it a ton. This could be either player, by the way. Oh, and we are going to go for the Libromancer Geek Boy. It looks like Cursed Eyes has won the die roll. Very important. So, Geek Boy, when special summoned, lets you add a Libromancer spell from your deck to your hand, but that doesn't have to be special summoned by its own effect. So, for that reason, you are very able to get it off of Emergency Teleport. And look at that, holding A during the draw phase to play around Droll and Lockbird. We're going to get Libromancer first appearance here. This is the only really good Libromancer spell card. When it's activated, you can add a Libromonster from your deck to your hand with a different name than the cards you control. And then it's also the Ritual spell, because during your main phase, you can special summon a Libromancer Ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. Now, that is not a once per turn, so you can summon multiple of these over the course of the turn. We're getting the Ritual here, showcasing we don't have one in hand already, and we're going to use it to summon Fire. Fire is the new card released for this archetype in Difo, and it's unbelievable. It adds from deck to hand a Libromancer monster, and we're going to go ahead and get Agent. From here, we can do pretty much anything. Agent is a great way to recur any of these two. We haven't specialed the Geek Boy from hand yet, so we still have that available to us. We also haven't normal summoned. A lot can go right here. Importantly, this deck also plays a pretty substantial Cyber Angel package. It's using Cyber Angel Benten to get, unsurprisingly, the Diviner of the Heralds that is so well known as the search target, but now that it's got 2 of those, it can wield it in a way that Drytron really can't. You know, Drytron, of course, has a really rough time getting to a bunch of negates off a Herald if they don't have access to Ava. Are all these level 3s? Unfortunately, no. That really would improve things for Cherubini reasons. But instead, we're going to go Fire and Geek Boy for Masquerena into Decode Talker Heat Soul. So happy we get to show this off. So Cursed Eyes is on a very small Heat Soul package. This is a Heat Soul backed up by Masquerena that allows them to draw an additional card. From here, we can use Agent's effect to summon itself, revealing from hand the Doom. The Agent can be activated on field to add a Libromancer from deck back to hand. Again, we haven't activated the effect of Geek Boy yet, so if we want more material on our side of the field, that's a great way to get it. But if we don't need it, we could just get a Fire and hope for the best. From here, we're going to activate First Appearance. That allows us to tribute the Libromancer Agent on our side of the field to summon the Doom from hand. Doombroker is going to be able to set immediately from deck a Libromancer trap, and there's a lot of good ones. The most important, though, is Libromancer Intervention. This is an Omni. It bounces your Ritual monster, and then afterwards, you can summon from your graveyard a Libromancer to plus even more. Wow, and following it up with Disciple of the Nadir for White Knight of Dog Dogmatica. Oh my, okay, so we haven't gotten to see these cards yet. This card can be ritual summoned with Dogmatic Calamity. You can't special monsters from the extra deck. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, look at your opponent's extra deck, and then send a monster to the graveyard, and it gains attack equal to the combined attack of those monsters sent to the graveyard until the end of the turn. This card's bonkers. More bonkers is the Dogmatic Calamity, the Titan Clad that's going to resolve at end step. Holy moly. All right, so I know this doesn't look super crazy. The Ecclesia is going to add from deck to hand, I imagine, a Fleur. So we've got the Fleur Negate, we've got the White Knight of Dogmatica Interrupt, we've got the Omni, we've got the Heat Soul, and we've probably got some number of hand traps to back it up because we still have 5 in grip. Wow, this is sick. All right, so if there's one deck that can break it, it's going to be Therion's. So Quantal's deck has been taking names all day, and it all begins with this, Therion's Ring, the Colosseum Saucer. This adds any Therion from deck to hand, but if we're getting Regulex, that means that our hand is kind of sussy. We're going to start with the Noah Punk Ogre Dance. So this card can be sent to the graveyard in order to grab us a Dianote. And then we can activate the Dianote, pitching a second Ogre Dance in the grip. So we can special summon either the Ogre Dance or the Dianote here. It's going to, depend on what we've got in the opener. We may have a way to Xiamen, but this is a lot of punks in the opener. You really do want to be able to find, like, some number of Therions to get the train rolling. Normaling Jet Synchron is not the worst thing in the world. We're able to make Halqifibrax here with the Dianote. We can trigger the effect of the Halqifibrax. And we might be able to trigger the effect of the White Knight of Dogmatica here as well. So this is kind of weird. We know that Quantal's line requires use of both the Zombie Vampire and, more importantly, Chaos Ruler. So if they go for the effect of a card, and Cursed Eyes sends Chaos Ruler, that might be the end of the game. But this hand doesn't look like it makes Chaos Ruler. Okay, we're going to be milling something. This is 12 mats worth of Synchro. Is there a 12 they maybe want to go into? Going to chain Ogre Dance here. To gain attack? Absolutely fine. So it looks like what we are going to send is Entis, and then we get a good look at Quantal's extra, which includes Meliage, the Zombie Vampire, ooh, Yukio Punk, the Amazing Dragon. That is probably the 11 they're thinking about. Going for the access code here says, I can deal with the rest of the board. You're not going to get the material on field to perform a Synchro Summon. We're going for the Jet Synchron here, but the Jet Synchron is just a tuner. The thing that it enables is the Therions, because if the Lily Borea is in grave, we can activate from hand the Regulus targeting the Lily Borea. This is, of course, if Cursed Eyes didn't have Libromancer Intervention. All right, looks like we are going to try and force it out early with a Nightmare Unicorn. That's probably correct. I imagine targeting the intervention here. Targeting the ritual monster. Okay, so that's prime material for the Fleur-de-Lis. And because we can't leverage the battle phase to out the Doombroker, I feel like we Regulus, we intervention, and that's just the end of the game, right? Yeah. Alright, back to hand. Regulus negated. And we'll summon the agent back from grave. When you summon the agent, that means that you're super ahead. Like, either of the other ones trigger immediately, but agent says, I am pretty sure I'm going to get back to my turn with this card on my side of the field. Wow, an access code, the correct decision here. Now Quantal is just out of material, I believe. Like, there wasn't another Link 4 in there. At least not one that does anything. All right, we get to go into Dark. Is there a Dark monster in here even? I don't think there's one that can be legally summoned. Oh, the IP Masquerena. That's something, but again, no... Yeah, we're just going to combat here. So, oh... Can they not attack for some reason? Because I was going to say, you can crash and then use Therion's Ring to protect and then send the Perpetual Motion Machine. Is there a reason he couldn't attack? I might be missing something. Either way, exceptionally sick line from Cursed Eyes. Attack who? Any of them? Ecclesia has text on it. Okay, let's start the Gamba. No other person would ever win a YCS if Cursed Eyes decided to use their IQ to learn a real deck. True! P.S. That was without the normal and without Barone. Barone is usually there, but they couldn't get access to Diviner. Wow. Cursed Eyes opened every good card from their package, WTF. I mean, not really, though. That's the thing, is that pretty much... that was E-Call plus Disciple of the Nadir. And that's a good open, for sure. But it's not like an unbelievable open. All right, so this time they're going second. Let's see. Okay, so the Perpetual Machine is a great opening move. All right, we're going to send the Lilyboria here, and then we can use Regulus to tag the Lilyboria. Oh, this is just such a crazy interaction. It's unbelievably strong. Regulus to use the Lilyboria effect to search a Therion spell trap. We've seen that Quantal plays the trap card. I imagine they are going to search the field spell here, but because they're on 3 of the field spell, they might already have it. Oh, they're going for charge. One really funny thing about Quantal's deck is they are playing like maybe 8 trade-ins. Like 3 trade-in, some number of charge. There's just a lot of ways for them to draw cards. And post-board, that's so important. It allows them to see their extra deck with pretty much 100% consistency, getting to not only tech cards, but also power starters like E-Telly. So we haven't done our normal yet, and down comes the Xiamen. Xiamen here is going to add, well, I guess we'll get some information based off what they add. Yep, the Foxy Tune. Okay, sure. We will just use the Foxy Tune here. We're going to summon a Dear Note from deck. Pitching the driver, by the way. Excellent, excellent. Love to see that in the opener. Dear Note here is going to be able to enable an 8-star Synchro, and this is what Quantal has been doing all day, summoning Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Demonic Dragon. This is insulated because of the Regulus on field. Looks like Cursed Eyes is thinking regardless. Looks like... Yeah, looks like nothing. We'll go Dia Note here for the Foxy Tune. And then Chaos Ruler will find... looks like we found a Foxy Tune off that. So 2 8s on the field. Can you think of maybe something you can do with 2 8-star monsters? All right, there is the Zombie Vampire. We'll activate the Zombie Vampire here. We're going to pitch the Chaos Ruler, and we're going to mill 4 from both players. That's going to eat an Ash, and you do need this to resolve if you want to go into the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. So it looks like we probably, yeah, will see the Regulus activated here in response. Okay. Oh, and we milled the Jet Synchron again. Okay, we do need 1 more Effect Veiler in deck if we want to do this, because it needs to be a 1-star Synchro. I believe. I'm not super well versed in this combo. What do we send for Cursed? Wow, some good ones. We'll go Halqifibrax here. Do we have another Veiler? Oh! No shot. Oh, no shot whatsoever. You do what you have to. Sacred Fire 64, thank you for the sub. So now we're not going to be able to make Archfiend King Calamity. Instead, we're going to go Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Demonic Dragon. Oh, Leaper Fam is so crazy. We'll Leaper Fam to get the Regulus Negate. And then, while insulated, we will pitch the last card in our hand to the Jet Synchron, I believe. Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Oh, man. All right, good luck. All right, how many negates is this, chat? Quick. You might think it's 1, but it's actually infinity. What if Cursed Eyes just ends? It's like, haha. Can't tag out if I just leave. A more billion. Raigeki 1 time. Raigeki would be crazy here. Okay, prosperity is decent, but because the most important part of the prosperity is that it is happening. Turn player gets priority when you enter the main phase, and Quantal is trying to activate the effect of Crystron Halka Fibrax here. We're going to negate that with Leaper Fam. Makes sense. And then at Resolution, we'll activate the effect of Halka Fibrax. That's going to tag out for a Formular Synchron. The Krabby Patty Secret Formula will draw a card. And then here we go, you know. 2, 8, 1. This is High Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. There it is. Imperm 1 time, come on. Well, unfortunately, Imperm doesn't do as much as you'd want against this card. You had to use it on the Formular Synchron. Still would have been nice. So, Cursed Eyes can now not activate the effects of cards that they control. But they can activate the effects of cards in the hand, in the graveyard, and the effects of cards on their field? I think they still get to resolve Geek Boy here. Or maybe not. Oh, it's not currently controls. Yeah. All right, we're going to go Halka Fibrax. And I think we're trying to end main here. Yeah. So, this is really fun, is that Therion stand-up gets Regulus back in rotation. We'll just go to the battle phase, walk over the Jet Synchron, and actually, we're not going to walk over anything. We're going to walk directly into hell. All right, time for game 3. So 2 pretty crazy ones, both players kind of getting to do exactly what they want the entire time. Does not happen frequently. When I saw the Therions, I thought that, oh, yeah, like, probably Regulus is good, and Lilyboria is good because she gets Regulus. I didn't understand that, like, all of their spells, some of their traps, and every single one of their monsters were busted to hell. These are real good. Okay, so Cursed Eyes on the play, very important. Let's see what they have opened. E-Telly, great starter. Great starter. Doing this in the draw phase. All right, Geek Boy coming down. We'll trigger the effect of the Geek Boy. This is going to add nothing. There's the Ash Blossom. That's strange. The field spell is a 3 of. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that they just have it. We're going to get fire here. So we already have a ritual in hand. Or we have a normal summon that would get us to the ritual. Yep, that seems to be the case. All right, well, this is a weird choke point. Yeah, in that an Effect Veiler exactly here screws things up because you need a ritual to reveal for fire. Never mind. We had the ritual anyway. You know, fuck it. It's as simple as that, folks. Just draw the ritual. What's the issue? How they're on like 1 of the ritual. Ugh. Well, now this is a really bad position to be in if you're Quantal. If you don't have a turn-ending hand trap like Nibiru, you're about to play against this deck with a 4-card hand, and as we saw last time, they usually end on like 4 pieces of negation. So, there's one. What's next? We'll go for the Agent. We're going to use the Agent to reveal the big boy. Oh god, Herald is so crazy against this? Herald's nuts. First appearance here, let's perform the ritual summon. Agent to the graveyard. Summon out Doombroker. Doombroker effect. We're going to set United. Or, what is it? Intervention. Alright, 1 unknown. Let's see if it accomplishes anything. Looks like not. Okay, so this is really only 2.5 points of interaction for a 4-card hand. It could happen. That's... Sheesh, I wonder. Yeah, I think you do let that resolve. I didn't want to give Cursed Eyes any ideas, but I don't really think it accomplishes anything. Herald is so nuts against Quantal, right? I can't think of a single thing that Quantal can do against Herald. Perpetual Argo system? Does that actually do anything? They have to send a spell trap here, right? Yeah, Herald is kind of an FTK, isn't it? Huh. Well, it is what it is. All right, well, Cursed Eyes is going to have to OTK here. Oh, and that I think does it. That does do it. Ecclesia effect. Oh, do we already have the Fleur-de-Lis? Is that what it is? This is... I guess they theoretically could have boarded out of the Fleur-de-Lis. Oh, we're just Selena-ing. Do we have a spellcaster? We do! Valor. You've been planning this since the beginning, haven't you, Cursed Eyes? Ecclesia does it. Alright, I mean, that is game. I guess, theoretically, if Quantal has another Valor, it's not game. Switch to attack. Well, we made it to battle. 53, 6, 25, and it looks like your first top 8 duelist is Cursed Eyes on Libromancer. This is so funny. It's hilarious. The first deck to get 1 Librillion tops. Congrats to both players. Quantal had an amazing run all day, as did Cursed Eyes. So happy to see both of these decks represented, and one in top 8. My lord. Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT, and it is time for the top 8 of the May 2022 Chalislime Monthly. We have got 8 big slappers here in Top Cut. We have 3 games that we are not watching. Adagnister versus Virtual World. Tenyi Sword Soul versus Mech Knight. Libromancer Dogmatica versus Dinomorphia, which will just be a ridiculous one. And the one we will be watching, Sun Avalon versus Branded Despia. Sun Avalon has had an unbelievable run so far, and this is the last player still in looking to test their mettle against the best deck of the format. I am joined by the one, the only Cereminon, who is up from their refreshing nap. How are you feeling today?
Refreshed, thank you very much. Hey chat. Excited to watch this deck actually in Sun Avalon. It's one that's been picking up a lot of steam recently. Potentially looking to take the top spot as premier, like, pure combo deck. Looking to take advantage potentially of people cutting hand traps from this matchup specifically being the Branded Despia. So excited to see how these 2 decks fare and square off.
That is 100% true, and Burrito Man is well known for playing a list that does include 0 hand traps. So if this is meant to punish this matchup, I mean, it'll happen.
Pretty cool to see. One-card combos are things that we've seen a lot of in the past year and a half, and the trend continues. So I guess we'll wait to see which one-card combo / combos reign supreme.
All right, I'm just going to let them know that I'm ready and that they can get off to the races. And we are in.
Alrighty.
So, a non-zero amount relies on the die roll, but one thing that Sun Avalon is pretty good about, especially with the Therions, is like chewing through low-impact boards. And, branded boards are built to go long, not necessarily completely wallop you on the first turn. So I think we'll get some gameplay no matter who wins the die roll.
Yeah, admittedly, I have not really taken a look at too many Sanavalon lists recently. I'm not sure how much they're uh, dedicating to specifically going second. Things like hand traps or like droplets or things like that. But Burrito
Very
Man winning the die roll here, and this is pretty strong.
Yeah, very few hand traps, but there are a lot of like droplets lurking, so that could potentially make it happen. Yeah, a Luber into branded fusion, not terrible, you know.
This seems pretty standard. Thankfully for the Sanavalon player, no branded lost, which is one of the most annoying cards in that entire deck to deal with.
Oh, for sure.
Uh, yeah, it turns off a lot of interactivity and also just gets them so much advantage.
So taking a pretty close look at this Sun Avalon list, nothing too shocking in terms of individual picks. They are on some cards that I believe are in here for, yes, like a crossout designator board. But they do have a non-zero amount of hand traps, so we might see something happen here.
Okay. Well, we see the standard stuff here, Lobelian into Mirror Jade, adding a copy of Adlib to hand, pitching Branded in red, which is pretty interesting. So there is a world where we just get another one off of this Mirror Jade, and it's fine. Or we could just have one in hand already.
All right, here's the Mirror Jade activation. We'll send the Brigand.
Okay, so looking to get a different form of follow-up, potentially just getting a kit to hand at end phase, which is pretty popular.
We're going all the way in, huh?
Yeah, so we're just going to try and get the Spirit Jade back, I assume, after going for a Masquerade, and there it is.
Yep. And there's the Adlib from hand. There's the Mirror Jade. And this is, I mean, one card that has really stood out to me this entire event is Masquerade. What a silly card.
Yeah, it's really sticky, and it's also annoying, especially if there's two of them up to play the game in general to out it. So
in terms of decks that have a rough time with this card, Sun Avalon is pretty much number one.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some decks that literally just cannot out double Masquerade setups.
All right, adding the Tri-Brigade McCourier, this card, of course, becoming more and more standard in this list as time goes on. I think Burrito Man is playing pretty much card for card the list that Pack showed off about a week ago, and boy, does McCourier do a lot of work here. Forbidden Droplet negating the entire field, but the McCourier ensures that we still have at least some ability to negate alongside, I believe, do we know that one of those two is branded in red?
I believe we know. Actually, we don't know either of the set cards. Burrito Man choosing to not respond with one of his monsters.
Yeah, those were both spells.
Yeah, so letting this droplet resolve.
All right, here's the unexpected die, and this is kind of the weirdness of this deck. You want to be playing the adventure stuff, but you can't commit to it before you commit to the unexpected die, which leaves Sunseed Genus Loci kind of sitting on field and is really, really bad if your opponent has something like a Branded in red and can remove it from the field. These Genus Locais, they don't come easy. The special summon from deck effects of stuff like Unexpected Die, the activations of, like, I think they're playing Painful Decision, and sometimes even the Piri-Res map, really mean that a really big choke point for this deck happens as soon as these hit the field. Like, it's unlikely they have a second one. And we might see if that's enough to end the turn after the resolution of this Branded in red.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going for the Guardian Chimera play. Pretty straightforward. And this card is one of the standout cards of the deck for sure. If we have not already seen it, we're going to go ahead and trigger both it and the Adlib and the McCourier. Just get all that advantage right back.
So, Mirror Jade back online, McCourier triggering, and then we'll Guardian Chimera to, what, draw 2?
Yeah, we're going to draw 2, pitch 1 with this one. What's interesting, actually, is that if they wanted to, Burrito Man could have actually used Mirror Jade and then chain the Branded in red, so that would resolve off of field. Well, actually,
they tried to and misordered.
Yeah, it was renegated off droplet.
Yeah,
so
but
never mind.
No big deal. They can Mirror Jade here and win the game. That's all 3 Genus Loci.
Yeah, that is true.
Man, it's unfortunate. If this Mirror Jade wasn't on field, this would be a combo capable of beating this board. But yeah, with no way to get him back, that is going to be the end of the game.
Yep. So Despia is showing off what it does best, which is simply getting a bunch of fusions on board and putting up threats in disparate locations, so it's pretty hard to hit everything with a singular equalizer, which is one of the more frustrating things to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this is a deck that really can take advantage of equalizers. Sun Avalon is, and it really sucks when you have to play against a deck with all these built-in sort of uh, mechanisms to prevent them from being as impactful as they would be in other matchups.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if Breeder Man is equipped to deal with this in their side deck. I imagine the Savon player is gonna have a good time going first here.
Yeah. Again, no hand traps. These combos are really hard to screw up. Like you have to brick to infinity not to be able to do them. And importantly, Gordon Reese specifically is on 3 additional starters in Piri Res map, which some individuals cut, going down to a lower card count. I think they're on like 44 to mess with the math a little bit. Checking out Burrito's side deck real quick. There is some stuff that I think is going to be pretty impactful, but it's impactful enough that I don't want to talk about it. Oh, he's also got... I mean, this isn't going to matter now, and it's not super surprising, but he's got one of the standout cards from this event, and one of the cards that I think you all need to be considering before you go to your next YCS, which is Necro World Banshee. Necro World Banshee and Zombie World. Just an unbelievable set of cards to send from the deck to the graveyard, and an unbeatable sideboard tech for decks like this one that have to send plants as part of their cost.
Yeah, that package is one that keeps Fuanderies in check, apart from Fuanderies' own individual problems. But yeah, that package is really, really easy to side into like a lot of different rogue matchups, like Tri-Brigade as well. But yeah, we are gonna start with Sowing, which
That's
I
really
don't
not where
think
you
is
wanna
the
be,
ideal
no.
one to start with.
So ideally, you want to use Dryas here to search a Sowing, and then use Sowing to get to your next step. Here we're going to have to get... Oh, okay, we're getting Sowing anyway. The reason Sowing's so impactful is it deals 1,000 damage to you. So if you have the Dryas on field already, it triggers the Dryas, which allows you to get Healer and a bunch of material. If you start with Sowing, this is what you end on.
All right, well, these 2 back row and potential hand traps are gonna have to carry this one home.
I mean, good luck. That's a decent start.
All right, well, if we banish Tragedy or Mercury, all right, we win the game.
Well, it was a good one. It was a good best of 3. Shouts out to Gordon Ree. They tried their hardest, but branded, you know? What do you want to say? Tree
That's
Pass...
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I really want to see this deck pop off a bit. But...
We've been seeing it pop off all day, and it's looked really good. Ash the Aluber. It's just like, listen, you've drawn 8 cards. I can't let you get lost.
I don't know about this one. I mean, yeah, sure, like lost.
There's the punish.
Yeah, this is the
punish right there. Oh man, that's devastating.
And fun fact for those of you guys at home, even if loss is on field, you can actually Ash the Branded Fusion because Fusion only prevents the activations from being negated, and Ash negates effects.
What's the one that prevents both? It's Altergeist Protocol?
Protocol. Yeah, Protocol is what you're thinking. But yeah, it's also the same as like the new Therian Regulus. So you could actually Regulus Branded Fusion under Lost, which is interesting.
And has come up many times today. Ah, man, this is just so unfortunate. I mean, we watched a ton of really cool games where Sun Avalon played really effectively through points of interaction, put up boards that were sticky, that had varied forms of interaction, and really looked competent. And here we are in Top Cut versus the best deck of the format, just getting absolutely blasted, just annihilated.
Okay, well, down comes a Call by the Grave Fluid, this Edgem Chain. I guess it's not some extension.
If they chain Brit...
But...
Okay, all right. We're chilling. So just going for the 1 here, keeping the Dryas on board, because if we take damage while the Dryas is on field, we can both gain life points and summon a Sunvine, which does get us pretty far. But, I mean, we'll see.
It's interesting that we were just talking about how much, or how Gordon Ree was playing additional starters in their deck, and then they ended up breaking like this.
Yeah. Well, the
But
first hand, this is why you could not pay me to play this deck, is the first hand was 4 cards that find you Genus Loci. The second hand was 0 cards that find you Genus Loci.
that's pretty remarkable. All right, we'll see what extension Breederman has. It looks like it's
Ooh.
not a ton.
Yeah, and just has to go
And
to end phase here because the Dryas, of course, can't be attacked and will plus if you attack in. We have another shot at this. We've got the sowing already, so if we fire the sowing and it resolves, we do get everything. And Aramasir off the top is a great way to ensure that it does resolve. Okay,
all
we're
right,
chilling, we're
so
chilling.
yeah, this is definitely not bad. Yeah, I don't know if Breederman actually will have any interaction for this. Maybe like it's a set super poly perhaps, but
Yeah,
apart
this
from that,
sucks. You have to do it like this because you need the sowing to resolve. So we're gonna pitch the card in the hand that isn't Sunvine Sowing. Here, Snowdrop the Rika Fairy. We'll go for Griffin Rider, trigger the Fateful Adventure, then we can sowing to get the twin out of the deck.
yeah, I imagine the Snowdrop is a one of in this list.
Snowdrop's a one of. This list is super interesting in that there's like 10 or 12 little plant guys that are just extenders, and you have to pick like 5 of them to play, and they all enable different stuff. This is Gordon Reed's list is just about as standard as it gets. It's on hitting the back row too. This is definitely branded in red.
Yeah, it could very well be. And if it is, then we might be staring down a Guardian Chimera if we don't negate this, which I imagine we probably do.
Yeah, we have to, right? Oh, it's Droplet. Oh, that's actually really, really bad. By negating the Dryas, this will prevent the sowing from doing everything you want. So, now do we even go for it? I imagine we still do. We have some stuff we can accomplish regardless. And this is where the good Sun Avalon pilots are separated from the bad ones, in that when you don't get to just autopilot, it's a lot harder. So we'll see what Gordon Reed can do now that they have to kind of switch up the combo a little bit, swoosh things around.
Yeah, going for Twin here, which is not bad. I believe this should enable a Jasmine setup, right?
So usually when you do a Jasmine setup, you have to do so using a little more material. I imagine that they're still going to go for it. The zones are a little wonky.
Well,
We might
if
just
they're
Jasmine for
playing-
1. So we Jasmine... Oh,
Yeah, they could be playing like Lone Fire, depending. But again,
I
it
think we
just
know
depends
they're
on
not.
what their list is.
we haven't done our normal, which changes some things. So the normal line here is you go Jasmine, Jasmine, Jasmine to get Laurel. You summon Laurel, link it off for a Jasmine, trigger Laurel.
And then double Jasmine, right?
Right, and
Yeah.
then double Jasmine. But Jasmine's 2 plant monsters. So if we tribute the linked Sunseed twin here, we can't do it. If we had summoned the Jasmine to the other zone, we could have tributed the Griffin Rider, maybe. But depends on what they want to do. You know, it's possible they prioritize these 2 material just being on board for next turn.
They could also just like opt to skip all of that. They could summon the Ethereum plant monster, the Liliboria, from their deck, and then that just gets them to the Ethereum engine, which is pretty cool. Okay.
Oh, man.
I thought we were on no hand traps.
Well, that is the car that he boarded into. Oh my gosh. Yep.
That is
Wow, that's
very
awful.
sad
That is
for
devastating.
our plant player.
All right, well, maybe the 2 cards in hand are nothing. Yeah, we know one is Albion. This is kind of the biggest weakness of the Sun Avalon deck, which is if it becomes popular and people start boarding Nibiru, it literally cannot beat it. There's just no way unless you start with the Therions. And even then, like, maybe not, because oftentimes you're making Regulus at, like, the end of the combo after you've done double Jasmine. It's rough.
Well, we have Owlbear and we have Brand Fusion, so this is assuredly going to be game.
What if
We
they
just have
can't
to find
out
a
the
way
token?
to a Mirror Jade.
Chat asking why can't Draco back re-equip? It's got to be an adventure token. That would be quite funny. Yeah,
That
Gordon
would
Ree, I
be.
think, is absolutely correct here. He says Sun Avalon has like 3 hand traps that just tear it up. It's going to be very rough once it becomes a common strategy. Definitely right now, and probably for the next YCS, it's getting a lot of mileage out of people not knowing about it. And I think it is possible it ends up in a similar position to Fluanderies now, where like now that it's a known quantity, people are like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it'll catch you off guard if you're unprepared, but if you are prepared, then it is not very difficult to identify its weaknesses. All right, well, down comes Albion. We can simply just banish our Rebellion from Grave to go for Mirror Jade and just go battle phase. And that's a wrap.
Gordon Reese says in the future we're probably going to have to run Cross out.
Cross is such an awkward card right now too.
It is, yeah.
Like,
you're playing it
the
against
defensive card lineup just it varies so much between Despia and other decks.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to main it because if you play against Despia, it accomplishes literally nothing.
Yeah.
Well, Burrito Man I think takes down his second Sun Avalon player in a row.
Oof, is that both of them out
That
of
is
top
both
cut
of
now?
them. This individual has single-handedly removed Sun Avalon from top cut. What an unbelievable run.
And this is putting on full display why this is the current deck to beat in the format, moving into the YCS Hartford, and I believe this weekend's also a bunch of EU nationals as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people on this deck, of course, and moving on to top 4.
Sad, but oh my god, branded Despia in top 4. Who could have expected, right? Hello, everybody. It's your boy Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT. And we are back with the top 4 of the May 2022 Chalislime Monthly. After 7 grueling rounds of Swiss and 2 grueling rounds of Top Cut, we are down to the final 4 decks. They are Virtual World, Tenyi Sword Soul, Branded Despia, and Libromancer. Now, we just hit Branded Despia, and we watched Libromancer right before that, so in the interest of not following these 2 duelists the entire way, we're going to be looking at the other game, which is Tenyi Sword Soul versus Virtual World. Now, we haven't gotten a chance on the YouTube recording to talk about either Virtual World or Tenyi Sword Soul, 2 decks that are extremely competent still. I'm joined once again by Sir Eminon. Sir Eminon, are you here?
We're here, we're ready to roll, and if you have not been paying attention to Sword Soul, this is a great chance to start because you'll be seeing a lot of that deck in the next coming format.
I am very happy to report that immediately upon seeing the ban list, I saw a comment that said, well, there it is. With no Halcdon, Sword Soul is dead. And to that I say, lol.
Honestly, Halcyon was more of a backup plan for that deck. The deck is still capable of doing 90% of what it did before.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention it got the extra desires, it got a much weaker format. It's a great time to be Sword Soul, if you ask me.
It's also one of the best decks at breaking boards,
Mhm.
which is interesting because Despia does like very similar stuff. And so here we are seeing Sword Soul right now in its board building capacity, just drawing 2 cards with this combo.
Silly.
With,
So silly.
Yeah, Qixing Longyan Moye was very strong.
Evil Longwan,
And-
every time I read it, I swear there's additional text on the card. Like, the draw, the first time someone drew a card off of it, I went, no way. There's no way this thing has 5 effects.
Yeah, this card is actually just crazy. Like, it single-handedly answers the adventure engine by itself.
All right, Pot of Desire. Speaking of, there it is.
All right, so we can maybe assume or infer that Blackout is set, given the fact that Shishao didn't add it, or maybe they just want to follow up, which is also valid.
Could be anything. Could literally be anything.
How do we deal with the board here?
Well, if you're VW, you do get a couple of really good, I guess I would say points of matchup interaction, right? Qishao negates effects on field, which does not matter because The activation resolution of the card like starts and stops in hand. Imperm, the evil long one, is fantastic. It means they can't negate one of your special summoned monsters, and you do really need to keep those on the field. And if this happens, the only thing we have left to deal with is exactly Blackout, and that is, Icarus attack is a good effect, but probably can't single-handedly carry. Shouts out to a long one still being able to trade favorably with Infinite Impermanence by making you take 1,200. I love starting at, 4,200 life points. It's super cool.
Yeah. So one of the problems, if it were to come up, would be that Qi Xinglong can answer Kowloon into Qinglong to just try and negate it, since it negates spell trap effects, not just activations, which is important. So the impermanence coming in here, putting in a lot of work. And now we get to see a legally targeting a normal summoned Yan Yan.
So this is a really weird place to be. We have to send the Zhuanwu, obviously, which is going to be very important to the way this hand plays out. But you kind of have to bait with a virtual world name you don't care too much about, the Blackout. And then you have to Zhuanwu back a Sword Soul and then do it again, or maybe you've been secretly holding a Kowloon the whole time. It's just a very rough position to be in. I think they're thinking really hard. Sending the Chuche almost makes me think they have the Zhuanwu in hand.
Or it could just be banished off Desires too. This is not a bad point to Blackout. It's simply because they open with their normal summon, but they could just be holding a Kowloon, which would be pretty big.
Yeah. They're thinking about it. I can't imagine what else they're thinking about, right? It has to be a spell card.
I think they're weighing the options of what extra deck monsters they can make, which currently is nothing, versus keeping the bodies on board if there's another name in hand, which is at this point pretty likely. They resolve Desires, right?
I wonder if you Chuche to try and bait the Blackout, right? Because if you then overlay for a 6, maybe it's decent.
That was wrong.
Any 6 that you make, that actually would get answered by the Chi Xiao, right?
Yeah, it'd be M7, right?
Yeah, M7, maybe a fan or something. So going for Qinglong here to add. So there is another guaranteed name. Going for Lao Lao, not Lulu. Maybe a bit of a telegraph here.
Pitching a Bell. Boy, Bell has just been bad all tournament.
Yeah, the card fell off a lot in popularity recently, just because in this matchup in particular, it does very little apart from, Bashe Revive, which is, at that point, if they're getting to that point, they're already pretty far ahead. And then against Despia, Granted Lost is a card that kind of just nullifies that card entirely, so definitely dropped off a bit recently. But we are making the Nyan Nyan a 6, so let's see what rank 6 options there are. There's also Beatrice, which we did see.
I wonder if they're legitimately on Utopic Beyond. Yeah.
Oh, we are on it.
Is
this actually a mandatory effect?
It is.
It is. I learned something new today.
So this will bait out the Chi Xiao probably, but unfortunately it doesn't trade into the back row because there's 2 potential targets for the Blackout.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at minimum, the Chi Xiao negating this doesn't accomplish a ton.
Yeah.
Just it would be able to attack anyways. But at that point, you're forcing the battle phase, which is pretty good.
And it looks like that is what we're gonna get.
Soul, yeah. Maybe we just go for a Zeus line here.
That seems better than anything else we could do.
Yeah.
So
which
go,
it does answer Blackout.
3k Zeus, eat the back row. Then we Kowloon! We had it the whole time!
We did, then. That was very, very disciplined.
Yeah. Are we on Gaia? Come on. Show me
Gaia.
Gaia.
That's even better.
Ah.
Nope, we are not.
Yeah, it's awful, so...
This does, in fact, trade with Blackout, since there's only 1 card on the board, a Virtual World, which is pretty solid, and there it is.
Unsurprising, but, Ooh. If this is the end of the turn, it might be a little crustier, unless the set card is Chuche exactly.
Although I don't think Sword Soul has too many difficulties with Chuche, depending on the number of extenders they have.
Yeah. Especially because we know they added extension last turn rather than the blackout.
So we know Long Yon, and that's about it. But any Tenyi as well can help break this board. Alright, Ecclesia is a pretty good start. Taya coming down afterwards. Nothing in response to the summon, not just gonna pop it, so it will resolve. Banishing Blackout for cost, so even if this is like an impermanence, the token will come out anyways.
This is kind of weird. If the set is exactly Chuche, you can eat the Sword Soul of Taya here, and you're suddenly stuck with 3 tuners on board. Oh, that doesn't even do it. You just tag out for the Moye.
Yes, tag out the Ecclesia, yeah.
I hate Ecclesia. Wow, I can't stand this card.
That card is above average.
It's all right. You know what would be really good here is Token Collector.
True. Although even if you get collected, you just synchro with the Ecclesia, the Taya.
What if it was Token Collector and Chuche and Ratio, you know, and...
True. We haven't really seen any Tenyis as of yet.
They are on them. I feel like Tenyi used to be like a decision in quotation marks.
Oh yeah, but now you have to play them.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
They do so much.
You
Only
lost,
the Horror Engrave.
like the Verte
okay.
line, the Hauk line. Gonna have to do what you do. All right, we get to trigger the Taya and the Baxia here. Baxia is just such a silly card. It was Chuche. That's something.
Opting not to use it on the normal summon of Taya, probably just because we know that there's a Long Yin in hand, so Ecclesia can just tag into Moye anyways. But,
All right, what if they also have an Ash, you know? Even if they have an Ash, you know, sending the Ashana is crazy here.
yeah. If we play Shithana, which I imagine we are, that would play past Ash as well.
I'll check, but man, Sithana's been like so good in this deck. All right, reveal
Yeah,
the long one.
even the non-circle builds are playing it now, just because like in spots where your stuff gets removed, but you have tokens on board, you want to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's Moye, and where would you go from here? Maybe just another
Shisha
Chisha.
number 2. Yeah.
And with that, we've replenished our hand. We are back to 5.
Gosh. And we might be dead here. We haven't
Yeah,
long
there
won
is
this
a
turn, right?
lot we can do. Yeah, we can Long Yun and we can Ashuna.
Long wanting first so we don't get locked.
Yeah, we could go for like
I think
a
just
Baron
Baron is
first.
lethal, right?
Yeah. Also, the Long Yun burn would do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Nibiru, and
It's gotta
Nibiru
be
in
like
the main deck
Nibiru
right now is
Veiler,
not
yeah.
popular. Yeah, it's like, ugh. And this already is game on board.
Yep, and Raymander
And-
says, whatever, yeah, let's just go next.
Well, that was about as standard as Sword Soul gameplay gets. You set up your board, and then you have enough follow-up to just overwhelm your opponent.
Yep. It is shocking to me always what Sword Soul can do with so little and how easily they can just like OTK. I guess that's one of the consequences of Long Wan and Evil Long Wan, but it's really wild.
Yeah, like the looping with Tenyis as well. It just like ensures you always have constant access to bodies on board. I expect this deck to be competing with Despia for a lot of top cut spots at these European Nationals and the next YCS. Looks like this time Virtual World is opting to start, unsurprisingly. And hopefully, for their sake, they did not brick. Alright, Foolish Goods is not the ideal starter, but it does get there. Depends on how many names we have in hand, that is. We get Qinglong here, grabbing a Lulu. And just hope our opponent does not have Ash Blossom. Pitching a Chuche even. Oh, because we already have Kowloon.
Well, sometimes you just draw well. All right, let's see it.
It's so if there's no Ash, this is good. But if there is, we might have a bit of a problem. Thinking a bit on sequencing here. Oh, they're gonna Desires first. Alright.
Sure.
Now that we got both of our Chuches out of the deck.
Let's
We're
see it.
gonna lead. We're gonna lead with the Lulu. No Ash Blossom, it looks like.
All right, let's see how far we can get here.
Yeah, so what's interesting is Virtual World could have conceivably cited in the Necro Banshee Zombie World package, but it's actually not as crazy against Sword Soul as one might expect. Even
Yeah.
though it cuts off like Chi Shell and Bashia Access, there's things like Vishuda to just bounce it. And you can also just go for other plays. You can go for a lot of the 10s that are generic like Fleur, and even Chenging is generic. So there's counterplay to the card for sure.
The counterplay here being, bring a deck that doesn't auto lose to it.
That is correct.
All right, Lili here. We're gonna send. I imagine if it's still in deck, the. Oh, did we target the Chuche here?
I believe we did, yeah.
Yeah, to send the Nian Yan to grave.
So what do we do here? We can go for a 9. We can
Ooh.
go for a rank 6 if we really wanted to. Oh, we are going for it.
All right,
And
there
they
she
are
is.
going for Beatrice.
We're just playing Beatrice control.
Fair enough. Oh, okay. That is a much better send.
That's a little better than the Necroworld Banshee,
Yep.
It's
much better.
So there were a lot of pretty decent ways to play around this card in the past by using Hulk, but now there are less.
And now you see a lot of players, resorting back to main decking like Forbidden Chalice and even Ghost Mourner to beat the Token Collector.
That's a really good draw.
Whoa, that is a rough one. Chuche targeting, I imagine, itself just to get the resources back in deck.
How does Sword Soul beat Token Collector? We're about to find out, chat.
Yeah, you quite literally have to
Imperm.
just draw the out. Or if you just play with a Tenyi heavy hand, things like Tenyi plus Vessel, that's like okay. You can like make your synchros without going into the Sword Soul plays, but see what the hand consists of.
Okay, I mean that's a Tenyi.
Yep, it's a Tenyi.
Normal.
I'm also not
Adha-
sure if the Sorcerer player or this Sorcerer player is on it, but a reasonably popular hand trap right now is DD Crow,
Mhm.
and that is another answer to Collector.
There's Monk. We can use a Shana here to grab like this Shana. We just
Depending
need
on the
one more guy.
hand.
Ooh,
That's
Sathana's nice.
interesting one. Not the greatest one here because it doesn't contribute to synchro plays without the tokens,
You
which
could like
we already
normal
know.
summon Ecclesia, maybe?
Yeah, you'd have to go for exactly that.
Alright, we're going a Shana. Is there like a secret 5 that does it?
We
Like-
can make Denglong.
Ooh, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, and then we can do Denglong stuff.
By the way, I mean, I think that Danglong is not that much of a problem, but thank goodness it did not come off this list.
Yeah. I think it could reasonably come off in a world where this deck exactly is not playable anymore.
Yeah. Oh, we are going for a Shaman line. Sick.
Ooh. Shaman lines are always really weird because that cuts off your extra deck
Ooh.
options. Oh, we're gonna pitch to bring back this other
Double a
copy of the
Shana. We do have an 8 now that could contest the defense position token collector.
We might have just not even drawn a Sword Soul as this hand.
Just like we set the token collector and it's like, okay, yeah, we're just making Shisha like the hard way.
That does happen sometimes. We are going
Ooh.
Draco Berserker. I do like this.
Yep.
It answers a virtual world follow-up pretty nicely. Right. Attacking over Beatrice, and interestingly, Beatrice choosing not to activate.
I guess
Just
doesn't
trying
want to get it banished, but it does leave the door open main phase 2 to just do Sword Soul stuff.
Well, we're just passing on 2 back rows.
We
We
literally
literally
opened
did
our
not draw a
Sword
Sword Soul.
It's as easy as that. Just draw the wrong half of your deck.
Just don't draw the Sword Souls.
All right, what's good against this? Raigeki?
Yeah. Well, now there's the answer to Collector on board, as well as the answer to all the VW hand effects, denying the body.
I struggle to think
Wait.
what 2 cards would get us out of this.
Yeah, there is a Qinglong Engrave. Oh, okay.
That's one of them.
it's
That
not
would
3
be
cards.
one of them. Ooh, down to 4 cards in deck here.
That is a bit risky, especially when, Unian's going to have to put in a work. It's going to have to work some overtime here. And where do we go from here?
Chat saying change of heart. True.
Change of heart, just attack for infinite. Ooh. We also desires before
That's good.
using Qinglong. Okay, that's not a bad one.
It's a good start. It's got to be like, oh god, it can't even be like. I mean, it's got to be monster plus Lulu, right? And even then, your deck has to have the right composition.
Yeah, you have to have like good stuff. Okay,
There's
well, there's a
monster.
Nyan Nyan. We can trigger the Nyan Engrave.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
That is a nice one.
Okay, so they actually had the answer to Token Collector this entire time.
Sometimes you just draw everything, except the Sword Souls. All right, is it a name in hand? Unfortunately, not how it works.
I mean, we can get to the name if we have one in deck with Qinglong. But it's going to be a tall order to produce anything that can break the board.
Right, so it's got to be a crazy name, and it's got to have targets in deck, right?
Yeah, it's got to be able to actually send something appropriate. And right now, we don't have any non-monsters for VW, so we have to have enough spells and traps. We know one Chuche was shuffled back, but the other one's in grave.
Ash, the draw. Oh, Lily can
we have a
activate.
target. We have a
legally
target.
activate.
We are going to send
It's
a Kowloon, fair enough.
And now what do we do?
Yeah, actually, what do we do? This this doesn't make anything. Oh, we have Chuche in grave. We can make it
Do
6.
we? All right, we can make it 6. We can make it 3. If we play Jaja, yeah.
I guess we could like make.
You ready for the set card to be blackout?
Fan?
Let's go!
Oh, okay.
Well, you know.
Sometimes you just have it.
I feel bad about this one. I'm sorry, Raminator. You didn't deserve this.
Lightning Storm into Scoop phase after called by Blackout.
Sheesh. Wow, I unfortunately couldn't get too animated about that one because it was just devastating. Just truly debilitating. Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, with the final round of the May 2022 Chalislime Monthly. I am joined for the final time by Sereminon. Sereminon, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing pretty well. You know, we've casted some great matches, and you know, we got 2 decks in the finals here.
We do have 2 decks in the finals. You know, no matter what, you can't disagree with that. We have 2 decks in the finals.
2 decks.
These 2 decks were the 2 victors out of a field of 128 duelists came to play today. Our top 4, if you just missed it, was Dinomorphia, Sword Soul, and of course, Branded Despia. 2 of those were just absolutely owned by Libromancer. So,
I love Yu-Gi-Oh!
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so
what
good.
A great game.
It's so good. And I don't know, there is a certain joy to the fact that a deck like Libromancer can make it all the way. They just cleaned Branded Despia, and now they are going to try and clean the second best deck in the meta, Sword Soul. I don't have very much faith in them, I'll be honest. I don't have any faith at all, if I'm being real with you. But I think it would be very funny if they won. So, you ready?
No. But let's do it anyway.
Oh, God. All right, they have just started. I'm going to start the Gamba. No use waiting. Let's jump in. All right, unsurprisingly, it's Cursed Eyes. Who else would be able to make it this far with a deck this bad? Who has won the die roll? It is...
Oh, it looks like Cursed Eyes won the die roll.
Golly gosh dang gee willikers.
Oh, no.
Well, that's step 1. That's step 1. But steps 2 through 20 involve actually winning the game, which is quite difficult. Oh, I saw the hand shuffle.
Oh, no.
Well.
The hand shuffle is truly based.
Okay, well.
Okay, never mind.
We got stuff. We got stuff. So Diviner of the Herald's coming down here. Diviner of the Herald's a Cursed Eyes special, not sending that terrible main deck monster, and instead sending good cards like Herald of the Arclight. This is going to grab from deck to hand a ritual monster if we lack them. Usually you get the Libromancer ritual here, which we will add. That's Doombroker. We could also have added the recently semi-limited Cyber Angel Benten, which this deck does play. We've hard drawn the first appearance. Very good. Fewer points for interaction. We can use the first appearance, I imagine, here to get Fire. Then we can use Fire to get Agent. We can skip different steps based on what's already in our hand.
This looks to be some form of a full combo.
Yeah, I mean, it's not full combo. You want to start with, like, an emergency teleport, getting out a Geek Boy. But outside of that, this is about as good as it gets. We'll go Libromancer Fire here. Fire adds from deck to hand a copy of Agent. Agent, of course, one of the coolest cards around. You can summon it from your hand, provided you have a Libromancer Ritual Monster. And then it has an ignition effect, which allows it to add from graveyard to hand a Libromancer. So what we're going to do is sync off the level 6 Diviner of the Heralds and the level 4 Fire in order to make Baron, insulate the agent, then fire the agent to get the fire back for next turn. This is also the exact amount of stars necessary for the exceptionally powerful Doom Broker. So we'll be firing off the first appearance, which doubles as both the Searcher and the Ritual spell. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Doom Broker there.
And just off of 2 cards, we have 2 Omnis and a lot of follow-up for next turn.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any more. There are extenders in this deck, but we did use our normal. Hey, there's an extender. It's like a decent one.
Yeah, it's all right, I hear.
It's okay. So this is the other part of the line that Cursed Eyes has been leveraging all day. If you find a Disciple of the Nadir, and you don't need the Ritual Search, which is pretty frequent because so many of your monsters represent the Doom Broker, you can use it to get White Knight of Dogmatica and Dogmatic Calamity, summon the White Knight of Dogmatica, and then send a copy of Titanclad in order to summon a Ecclesia at the end of your turn, adding a... Oh my god, what are we terraforming for? Oh, the second
follow-up.
Okay.
Sure.
So we've got full combo on follow-up. We've got 2 Omnis, the White Knight, and the Fleur. We'll go to end phase. We'll resolve the effect of the Titanclad. We are going to grab the Ecclesia. I got to tell you, I'm super excited about this. We'll trigger the Ecclesia. Oh, we're not even triggering the Ecclesia. What?
Huh. Do we have it in
Did we just draw it? Is that what happened? Sure.
Well, provided that's the case, this is 4 interruptions. Okay.
That's annoying. We'll trade for the
Lightning Storm, by the way.
main Lightning Storm. What the hell? Is that real? I'm literally looking at decks right now. We're going for the Doom Broker here, firing off the Intervention. Main Lightning Storm. Ugh. Ooh.
And Droplet. Okay. We really out here.
Droplet's good. We can negate the Baron?
Gate Baron and the White Knight.
Well, it'll just trade. Oh, we did send a Shana. I see.
So, provided that's the case, we play through 3 interruptions. We know 2 of the cards are the Field Spell and the Fire added back, and the Ecclesia not triggering probably telegraphs a Fleur-de-Lis.
I'd imagine.
So, provided that that's the case,
wow, yeah, they are on
through that.
triple Lightning Storm main. That's incredible.
Actually, pretty reasonable to play through. Do we have anything to bring back? We do. We have an agent.
Yeah. Agent here, though, way less important than the other ones.
Yeah.
You can also summon from hand, so we could go fire from hand.
That was wrong.
All right. And the 2 relevant negations are now off the table. Or interruptions, I should say.
Down comes a Shana.
It's not really the one you want to be having duplicates of, but it's all right.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could have none of them.
It's true. All right, did we draw at Hara or Vishuda?
We
We
did.
So now we can go into Vishuda, and then we can go into Chishao, which would probably fetch the Fleur-de-Lis.
Ooh, chat actually right here. If we had used the Baron to negate the Lightning Storm, we could have interventioned the Forbidden Droplet.
Ooh, that is true.
That only trades for the White Knight, though, which realistically I don't think is going to win the game on its own. So we can go for an 8 here, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is Chishao, this is Bashia, this is potentially Draco Berserker.
It's weird. If you have the read on the Fleur-de-Lis, it almost feels like you have to go for Draco Berserker, right?
Depending on what this last card is.
Yeah, that's what we're going for.
We are going for the Draco Berserker.
This is a weird position to be in.
Give Vishuda back the Fleur, but how are we outing this Ecclesia? Might just have to leave it on board. See, we have it hard to add back.
Yeah, we haven't normaled yet. So if the last card is like Longwon or Taya, we're still in an unbelievable position.
Specifically Longyun, I think, would be preferable here. We are worm locked, so we can't go for like our own Baron.
It looks like we're just going to combat. So we get to eat one of these, but this is hard. Like, you want to eat the Agent and the White Knight, and you still don't have an out to Ecclesia.
Well, we do have Draco Berserker, provided that it's not going to get negated here.
Ooh.
Which, actually, we went to battle phase successfully, so there was no Fleur dropped at this point.
Okay.
Maybe Kursai's, they're fine with, maybe they're just fine with their board getting cleared here.
Going for White Knight. Okay, we have nothing for the Ecclesia.
Oh, it was a back
Ooh.
row.
If that's a blackout, that is going to be painful. All right. So, beginning with fire, revealing the Doombroker. You have the option to banish this if you want.
It seems reasonable, but there's also another field spell in hand.
Mm-hmm. We will trigger the fire here. I guess you get... Is there a second agent in this deck? What the hell is that? Mistigirl!
Ah,
Oh, that is a huge deal. That trades for Berserker.
it's just a negation.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's... I mean, I ain't playing this card, but whoa.
We can go for it, which would force the Draco Berserker.
Yeah. This is rough. If the set card is Blackout, does Blackout targets all the cards?
Targets a worm on your board and 2 cards on their
Yeah,
board.
so you have to target your monk here and pop the field spell and probably the fire? Oh.
Ooh, targeting the monsters in hopes of them not having fodder, but we know
we
that
literally
there's
know
the...
they do, yeah.
Yeah, there's the Doombroker as well in hand.
Huh. They may have something else, too.
You're just putting them in an awkward
the
position.
Fleur says, fuck
Yeah,
it.
the Fleur, yeah.
Okay, so we get to go Mist Girl here, targeting the Draco Berserker. The Draco Berserker banishes, of course. And now we just fire the first appearance.
Yep, the
Okay.
second appearance, if you will.
And since we didn't send the Doombroker here, we still have it to reveal for... We really need a second agent. Geek Boy's fine.
Geek Boy adds, what, spells? Yeah.
Geek Boy adds spells, which is decent. It also outs the Draco Berserker, which is super important here.
Is there another spell besides first appearance that this deck plays?
There is another spell. I don't know if Cursed Eyes is playing it. It's pretty good, but we'll see.
Yeah, depends on what Curse is able to set up here, because I don't know if they have a avenue for lethal unless
You're
of that.
fucking with me. Whoa,
Okay,
we're taking it.
Now,
Oh, we're gonna use it as the material.
Fair enough, honestly.
Sure,
fair
whatever.
enough.
All right, 25. Do we have another trap?
If we play multiple of the trap, this isn't bad.
Why not go Geek Boy here? Oh no.
Maybe just holding it for follow-up. Oh, no trap.
Oh, that's
Well, we know
bad.
Vishuda. Oh, this is probably just game for Sword Soul then.
Yeah.
Because we know Vishuda's in hand. We know there's a Shuna in grave. Well, those two by themselves aren't that crazy. You do need to have another engine piece. But even just like another Tenyi would do it here.
Yeah.
You can just go into Chi Shell at that point. If you have a second Tenyi, you can special the Tenyi and then special the one you're missing off of
We've got the
Ashina.
Ashana engrave here.
But looks like no secondary Tenyi.
All right, well, now the crazy draws are Moye or Taya. Ooh.
Shaman.
We have the Shaman line.
So we Shaman bring back Draco Berserker, right?
That's nutty.
Clears the board. And then Draco Berserker can hit for, or can gain some attack.
Yeah, I really don't know what the plan was with the triple tack to take.
Yeah.
I thought they were just gonna draw and then summon the Geek Boy. That's pretty good.
Ooh, Itoi's nice.
It's decent. We go Geek Boy here.
So we can get the third appearance. But we don't have any rituals to reveal.
Yeah, I imagine they're not playing more than one of either of these.
So where do we go from here? Like normal the other Geek Boy, and then, I don't know, go for like a Link 2. She's thinking about if they want to banish this off Berserker. They are going to.
Okay, that's not that big of a deal. We've already got the
Yeah.
other Geek Boy in hand. Okay, let's see what still exists in deck. I don't think there's really anything that does anything at all. Yeah, fire is not it. Normal fire to
can
clear
add
the...
a Libromancer. Oh,
Only if it's
oh wait, no, that's
special,
on a
yeah.
special. Oh, it's only a special.
Yeah.
Yikes.
This seems pretty over.
All right. I want to see Cheese do the play where they turn Draco Berserker into a monk and then use Tenyis, but it looks like they're not going to do it.
That boy gets so big so quick.
That was wrong.
3-point game and thank you for the sub.
At this point, Draco Berserker beatdown is probably good enough.
Yeah. We're just waiting until they draw like a Taya or something.
This was straight up just a
Oh,
pure
well.
Tenyi deck. Oh, no, just kidding.
All
There's a
right.
Taya.
It's a rough game one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to the Triple Tactics Talents turn, but it would have to have been they draw and then find a 3-star or higher monster. That's the only scenario in which that works.
Yeah.
Because
I can
otherwise they
respect
just
the choice.
yeah they just
to
don't have
not
material.
gamble.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Some of these lists are also playing 2 agent, which would have resolved that game state at any point, but it's just so bad to open if you don't have the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Cursed Eyes will simply win the next 2 games. I gotta say, though, I mean, that opening board looked pretty stellar. The way to resolve it was literally Lightning Storm, Forbidden Droplet, the Tenyi line, Blackout.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that wasn't like a particularly
That wasn't crazy,
like,
yeah.
Swordcell hand either. Like
The
there were no
equalizers were
Swordcells.
good, but there were no starters.
It goes to show though, just like the board breaking power of the Tenyis. Like they just do so much.
All right.
Like functionally, that was
decent
pure
open.
Tenyi. Yeah, good opening here.
I'm probably grabbing the ritual here. Yeah. All right, let's see what Libromancers we've opened. Fire? Yeah, let's go. All right, so Fire's going to summon here, and then we'll add from deck to hand probably an agent.
Start looks pretty solid, fairly similar to the last one.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the argument for Libromancer is that they just do it every game, you know? Geek Boy next. Oh, so we've drawn the agent. That's a strange position to be in, but no big deal. We'll go Geek Boy here. Grab ourselves another of the field spell for next turn.
So you know what? Doombroker, we know field
Oh.
spell. Two more. Okay, two more field spell.
That's not good.
They've drawn field spell Terraform in both of these games.
Yeah, you really only want the one field spell a turn. Like opening doubles is real devastating.
Yeah. At least it guarantees you go infinite, but is that
I don't even really
good?
like terraforming, to be honest. It's just like so accessible off Geek Boy. You don't have another good search. Ugh. I get it. I get it. This is Baron if you want. We're just going Hulk, sure. All right, looks like we're trying this board again. It did okay previously. Oh, Special Ecclesia is kind of interesting. Oh, do we not have access to Agent and we're going to use like the Fleur-de-Lis to send to summon Doombroker? That's funny.
Ooh. This is very interesting.
This is a line.
Here to the Arclight also mitigates Droplet if we can put up another monster interruption.
Yeah, looks like that is what we're doing. We're going to send the Fleur-de-Lis here.
Yeah, and there we go.
And might as well summon it in attack. Either mode on a Lightning Storm will out this, so.
If there's any cool Hulk targets,
Yeah.
like tag out targets.
So, yeah, Herald does do a lot for, like, crack my board decks like this. Provided they've drawn the wrong half of their, like, break my board guys. Ooh, the shuffle. There's the storm.
There's Storm. This will trade.
Yeah, you have to trade here just because you want this to resolve. Oh, it looks
Here,
like
even
they
the
might
droplet's
have a
not-
droplet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not awful because even though you can't send a monster, it will minimum force the Herald. You could just send the Storm. So it still trades 2 for 2.
They opened storm droplets 2 games in a row. That's pretty good.
Yeah, just draw
Casually.
draw like this. This is the key to winning a tournament. You just draw insane.
Yeah, so we have to Herald here. We are going to at least get to plus off the Herald. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And, ooh, we're going to chain the Crystron, too. What are we doing here?
I guess we don't want it negated.
Oh, okay.
You could also, ooh, I wonder what this is sending.
That's a good question. So Geek Boy triggers here and Shooting Riser triggers. So you can protect the Shooting Riser. That's kind of funny.
Oh, you can go Riser tag into Fleur here.
Oh.
Or Baron.
I like it.
I don't think we're extra deck locked, are we?
We aren't. 3 Geek Boy.
So Riser
oh,
to
yeah,
send
we are
and
doing
Riser to tag.
We're not resolving Geek Boy. 0 targets left in deck. K-Kona.
Hilarious.
2 fucking first appearances in the opener. God, this is pretty gnarly. I'm not gonna lie.
It's definitely not bad. So yeah, Riser actually doesn't resolve to send anything because it has to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But not really that important, I imagine. Okay, so Ashuna is pretty good because it will eventually trade with Fleur or Baron.
It takes some time, but yeah.
Just drawing the 10 is crazy. We're just gonna outright stop it.
Says whatever. Oof.
and
No,
emergence
nothing.
immediately afterwards.
Yep, that's just the
believe-
way it is.
We know the entire hand. It's double field spell, Doombroker, plus the add off the Herald of Arclight, which was Ben 10, right? So no hand traps here, and this is
pretty good.
Sword Soul.
It's pretty good.
More realistically, it was Lightning Storm Droplet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no hand traps from the side of Libromancer means that Sword Soul will be able to clean this one up, I would imagine.
Chet says Valor one time. Chat, we know what's in the hand.
Yeah. Oh, drawing vessel too. This card.
Now
is
that's
actually
Sword
insane.
Soul.
Yeah, this
Folks.
card's actually insane. Sending another Ashuna even.
Lightning Storm plus Droplet plus Ashana plus Emergence plus L plus Ratio plus Baxia plus your white.
You can tie to send. You guys even send like Moye to like bring it back off Basha to like keep going. Sending the third Ashuna. We do not need this, but sure.
Completely unnecessary, but very funny. Plus long one.
Oh, okay, sure.
All right, well.
Sometimes you just have everything. What can we say?
Is this lethal? 23, 3K, 12? It's not.
It's not yet. We still have Ashuna.
I don't think Libromancer can beat Evil Longwan.
Depends if they kept in Blackout going second. They could go like, well, actually, I don't know if I should say this line.
Yeah. It's a little spicy.
Yeah, there was a line there if there was Blackout in deck, but didn't want to say it.
Like, you can't beat this, right? You just activate the field spell. They do 12. You go for the summon. They donk it. You might even be dead to just activate the field spell. No, we got 400 left.
We also would die to the burn.
Yeah. Oh, this is kind of
This is for the summon. You just, I guess you just banish this.
Okay, now we get to activate one. Oh, what if we drew Imperm? Like, what if we were trying to get it off the field to Imperm?
True. That would be insane.
That'd be so crazy.
We also triple attack now, which would actually deal with it.
Well, it'd have to be exactly off the top, but I believe in Cursed Eyes.
Not trust. It's there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but the line I was thinking was you could Ashuna into Shithana and then make Chi-Shell to banish Blackout from deck to make the token.
Yeah.
And then that puts an extra 28 on board for game. So yeah, that was the line for lethal.
All right, we are doing this, so it's not Imperm, but it is triple tack.
Trust, it's triple tack. Wait, is Cursed playing a Change of Heart?
Ooh, I don't.
Can we see a Change of Heart one time?
One time. We haven't seen it all day. Come on now. They're performing a summon. Oh.
Doesn't this just get banished off long end though? Oh, not this one.
How does?
Oh wait, but isn't it Chainlink 1, Mr. Girl? Chainlink 2,
yeah,
Xing Longyan?
I think it is. I mean, we're gonna find out.
I guess Benton also triggers in this chain, but in any case, Longyan would be after this. So
it was Ben 10 the draw. That's a good one, but at this life total, it is not enough.
No.
Well,
we
it
could have
was
seen this coming.
Yeah, it was a super sick deck and an unbelievable run from Cursed Eyes, but Sword Soul Tenyi does take it and is your May 2022 Chalislime monthly champion. Wow, that was really something. I'm not gonna lie.